I'm going to go for 3 maggots. Not catching any small fish at the minute. And I just like to match my hook bait up to the size of the hook that I want to fish. So I've got 16 Super LWG on. I think 3 or 4 maggots absolutely perfect on that size of hook. I think at this time of year you don't want to be fishing real positive big hooks, heavy hooks like you would in the summer, sort of size 12, size 14 when you're really bagging, fishing positive elastics. So a little bit smaller hook, 3 or 4 maggots should be perfect. So just potted my bait in. Little sign straight away. We've got a bite. Throw some bait when I hook a fish. That feels like one of them hide. Now, you were talking about you don't want to catch the hide. After that size, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to catch them when you're only fishing at 5 metres. I'm saying that's an hide of about a pound. Now, if you can catch them that quick, then obviously they're well worth catching. Now, the reason I've caught that hide might be because I've been loose feeding quite positively on that line. But I'm not too worried because I've got this edge line, which hopefully should be good later on for some carp. If I do catch a few hide on this line early in the match, I'm not really, I'm not worried about that. I'd just rather put them in my net. Again, it's not, looking around the lake, it's not fishing amazing at the minute, so if I can just put some hide in my net, it's better than not catching anything at all. So see, I had a liner when I fed my bait then, and again you see a bit of a swirl under the surface. Now it can be easy when you're seeing stuff like that to think, right, I need to go shallow, I need to put a shallow rig on. Now when you're fishing on these sort of venues absolutely stuffed full of carp, you always get an odd one that wants to come up, maybe gob at your float, or an odd little bit of bait as it's falling through. But very rarely, unless you're on one of them real red letter days, are you going to bag up shallow with these sort of size fish. So don't get distracted too much by that. You're always going to get an odd one wants to come up. It's often just trying to gob at stuff near the surface. Doesn't mean the fish that you can actually catch shallow. So don't worry about that too much. Don't let that distract you. And hopefully I can just get settled into my match. Again, I'm just going to keep loose feeding a few maggots down that edge, just a little bit off the bank. Like I say, that's the beauty about that edge where I'm fishing. It's a nice flat area of all in the same depth, so I can just feed that a little bit further off the bank. And then when I go into fish, I can just tighten all that bait up. Is that a fish? Bit of a slow bite. I reckon that's enough one of them hide. Oh, I don't know actually, I just lost that fish. How strange that was. Almost felt like, I don't know if it was foul looked or if it was just a small sort of stocky fish or something, I don't really know. Thought it was an hide, but then it pulled back a little bit harder than I was expecting, so I'm just going to pop some more maggots in. But at least on this line now I'm getting an odd sign, an odd indication. Again, got that large guru of maggots in. Quite a few maggots that, but as I say, this venue's got a lot of fish in. I'm trying to get a lot of fish settled, and I want them down grubbing for me bait. So if I was to just go in and tap 20 maggots in, I think you're going to struggle to line anything up. You want to get quite a bit of bait down in your peg. There you go, straight away. That's good. I've obviously made a positive change swapping onto this line. That's a carp again, definitely. That's not an hide. If it's an hide, it's a very big hide. You can see how much quicker that was on that short line. I actually think that last fish I had was a carp, to be honest. Lovely fish again. Oh, it's just up under the chin, that one. It's not actually up properly, but not going to worry too much at the minute. Obviously, if that keeps happening, then I've obviously got to think about what I'm doing, but I feel like at the minute, just happy to be getting a few signs on this line. Now, it's been instant. Like, what's always interesting is there's only sort of 3 or 4 inches of difference, 4 inches of difference between these two lines. But I'm getting bites on this line. I can't get bites in the edge now. Probably the only reason that is at the minute is because there isn't a massive number of fish in my peg. There'll obviously be quite a few fish, but not, it's not solid. And I actually think later in the day a few more fish will push down. With us being in the corner and it being quite tight in the middle of the lake. Keep foul looking on this swim. What I'll probably do is just bring it back a little bit shorter. Not a lot, but maybe just to a similar distance what I'm fishing in my edge, but in front of me. Still the same depth, I've plumbed it up. And as you come back, the full length of this section, it basically stays the same depth until you take that number 5 section off. But I've got, we've been fishing sort of 20 minutes maybe. Got 2 carp and an hide, £9. Feel like what I'm doing is around the right lines. It's just about trying to catch what I can early, I think, and then all of a sudden I feel like it'll just get stronger. I think that's maggots in general is like that as a bait as well, where it builds up. So another fish just swirled under the surface there. Again, don't get dragged into trying to catch them fish. I would rather try to fish closer or in shallower water than trying to catch them fish shallow when you can't line them up. I'm not fishing for 1 or 2 fish, I'm fishing for a weight of fish, so I try and ignore them a little bit. Now, time-wise, just check the time so I know exactly where I'm up to. Yeah, so we've been fishing for 27 minutes. I probably potted my bait sort of that, 7 minutes ago, so after sort of 20 minutes. So every 20 minutes I'm probably just going to pot a little bits of ground bait in that edge. Try and get a few fish there. Get an odd blow on this short line. A little sign then again. Not going to strike at that, I'm going to wait till I get a proper clean bite. Yeah, I'm going to probably feed a bit of ground bait every 20 minutes, maybe just 100ml of ground bait, just to try and gather a few fish. And then hopefully when I drop in on it, there'll be some sort of ready and waiting. Again, I'm just going to throw a few more maggots in. I am seeing anglers fishing a little bit longer around the lakes and they're not catching great either, so just had a little sign as soon as I fed my bait then. There's one. That looks like an hide. Super jump out the water. Again though then, nice fish, worth catching. Feel like the carp will naturally just sort of push them hide out as the day goes on, so I think for now I'm not going to worry too much about catching a few of them. Just going to catch them. And 3 maggots on the up. Fill my pot up. See, I'm pretty sure these blows that are coming up on this line, they're not. The hide, pretty sure them fish that are blowing on the bottom will be carp, so there obviously is an odd carp in my peg. I know that because I've had a few funny indications and stuff, and I'm pretty sure some of them will be carp as well. I have up 2 carp on this line as well. So I think for now it's just a case of doing this. Should be patient, try and drop something in my net, even if it's an hide. Hopefully catch an odd carp in between. Then I just feel like keep potting my edge, and eventually start to get into a bit of a rhythm of catching a few carp. I think back in the day when that like a better bite. That like it could have been a carp. What I was going to say is back in the day, 4 or 5 years ago, on these lakes, I think you used to need to literally get a bite of a chuck from start to finish to catch a weight. Now, to make a stamp of the fish, you don't need to. You just need to have a steady match. So I'm not too concerned that it's not like a blistering start. We've still got loads and loads of time to catch a weight of fish when they're a good stamp. So I'm just going to pop my bait in again. That definitely looked like a carp, that last bite. Just keep feeding me line, so again, throwing a few maggots down the edge. That feels like a carp. So, like I lost that last fish. And to be honest, it felt like a good bite. I don't know how I lost the fish. A bit of a strange one, really. And there's another carp. And again, I've just seen Luke opposite catch 2 up the bank quite quick, but then he hadn't caught for a little while at the start, so I don't feel like that's the way to go. I feel like just being patient on these lines. Like, we've been fishing 38 minutes. I've got £13. Say I can get to £20 first hour. That's my worst hour all day. I'm going to be on for over £100. So, and I don't feel like I've really even got going at the minute, so I feel like I'm doing the right thing, just staying short and waiting for them to come in, which they will. Don't feed any bait too far. These lakes are stuffed. I'm already getting a few bites. I'm just going to be patient with this. So I'm putting a few more bait in. Just keep trying to catch an odd fish and let them fish naturally push into my peg, which is what I think will happen in this peg today. So what we'll do, catch up with you in a little bit, see if it's changed, but decent little start. I've got 3 carp, 3 hide, £13 on the clicker. Might even have a little bit more than that, to be fair. Normally I'm a little bit out on my clicking, so it might be more like 15. And get to 20 odd pound this hour. I'll be off to a good start, so catch up with you in a bit.